Hi, it's Paul, and today I'm an old man with my metal parts bender and a response to a comment made by @SouthernGround on my bending capacities video. If you want to watch that video first, by all means do so. I'll put a link somewhere. @SouthernGround said, "This is cold bending. Try heating your bar stock for thicker steel." And he has a very valid point. I think I mentioned in the bending accuracy video that you could potentially get a tighter, more accurate bend if you heated the workpiece. It's not something I generally do, as I don't need to bend bigger stock and I don't need the tighter bends. But it got me thinking about something I said in a response on one of my miter saw videos about going outside design parameters. So this is a one-sided discussion about bending heavier steel. You can make it a two-sided discussion in the comments if you wish, but there's only me here, so this is one-sided. And it is only a discussion. If you're looking for parts bending action, then there will be none in this video. This is just me waffling at the camera. So, if you have access to something like oxyacetylene or oxypropane, or you have a big enough nozzle, cutting nozzle or a heating nozzle, or you've got access to a forge or one of those maybe fancy induction heaters, you may indeed be able to heat up your workpiece, which will allow you to bend larger material than the stated capacities, or smaller material easier on this machine. You're still limited by the physical capacity of the machine. You're not going to get anything bigger than you'll get in between these two forks. That's the widest width you can bend. But you could definitely venture outside the thickness capacity limits. And that's where the miter saw connection comes in. On the specific video I'm referring to, I made a response to a question where I talked about going outside the manufacturer's or supplier's stated design parameters, and this is exactly the same. What I've quoted to you in the main video, the capacities video, are the capacities that the manufacturer, supplier, designer, or somebody has decided it can bend in its sold form. And here's the thing, if you're built slightly more like Charles Atlas than I am, you could possibly bend cold, larger material than the stated maximums, because there's always the design maximum for the machine, but also an absolute maximum, which will be higher. There will come a point when the material you try to bend is too much for the actual capacity of the machine, and the machine will fail. The fail might be gradual, it might just crack and gradually bend open, or it might be catastrophic and instant as it catapults you across your workshop into the upturned garden fork that you've got in the vise that you were working on before, and you're now impaled on. Moving swiftly on. If you can apply heat to your work, again, you can increase the capacity of the material you can bend until eventually, once again, you'll reach machine failure point, at which time, repeat as before, only this time, not only do you have the fork you're impaled on, but you've got a red hot piece of steel bar burning through your leg, which takes your mind off being impaled. Now, it might sound like I'm disagreeing with @SouthernGround and saying don't do this. I'm not. I'm absolutely not. You do what you like, and you can go as much outside the design parameters as you want, if you so desire. I said the same on the miter saw video, and I do it. Thousands of us do it. But as I don't know who you are, what your experience or knowledge is, or what you're planning to do, I'm not going to advise to do it. And just so we're clear, even if you give me those details, I'm still not going to give you direct advice. So if you want to know what the manufacturer says the machine's capable of, because you know nothing about it, maybe you know nothing about bending metal and you're thinking of buying one just to have a mess around, then stick with the other video with the capacities that are stated. If you have a little more experience, like at Southern Ground, or myself, or maybe someone you've seen on video like, I don't know, Ice and Mind Life, Angry Welder, Jimmy DeResta, any of the other myriad folk, Colin Furs maybe, who've done some time with all this kind of stuff, then cast the manufacturer's parameters aside and go and experiment. Just remember as you go and experiment that you've got no protection from the designer or the manufacturer. You've got no protection from me anyway, because I'm just some random bloke on the internet who's giving you a bit of sort of information. I'm not telling you to do something or not to do something. But if you go outside the design parameters of the equipment you're using and something fails and something goes badly wrong, someone gets hurt or something gets damaged or whatever, you've got no protection from the manufacturer. If you are working within the design parameters that are stated for the machinery and something goes wrong, you've got half a chance once you've finished a years long legal battle, maybe, possibly. All I'm saying is, if you understand and you've got experience in doing this kind of thing, you will already know what you can do and you'll have an idea of what to do when stuff goes wrong. And that's the thing. If you don't, I'm not saying don't get one. By all means, get one. It's the only way I learned. I went out and bought one. But you've got to understand, or you've got to at least think about the consequences of what you're doing, what might go wrong, and how to deal with it when it does, because it will. So, go out there, as I say, experiment away. Don't forget to take the upturned fork out of your vice first, because you don't want to go there. Be safe, kids. Well, safe-ish anyway. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.